Okay, well, hi everyone. Good morning, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to join our webinar this morning. My name is Brian Boscher, and I'm the president of Condo Control Central. And I'm joined today by my colleague, Greg Vieira, who is our customer success team lead. And together, we're going to be presenting a short webinar for you on two-factor authentication. So we want to make this as interactive as possible. So if you take a look at the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A feature there. You can use that to send us questions, and we will sort of throughout the meeting, we'll pause and take your questions. So before we begin, I just want to refresh everybody on how to get help. So our office hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and we're available by phone or email to help you out. We have for technical support or access-related issues, our support team is available. You can reach them at contact@Condo Control Central or the phone number you see there. And for customer success matters, which is more like strategic things like how to get the most out of your account, we have our customer success team, which is comprised of Greg, Christine, and Andrea. And they're available there at customer success at condocontrolcentral.com and by phone as well. So before we get into today's content, I'd like to draw your attention to the fact this is the first of a series of 5 webinars that we're hosting this fall. And you can see today's is on two-factor authentication. In 2 weeks, we're going to be doing our first one on virtual meetings, which is a new feature we've just added. That's going to be Wednesday, October 28th. After that, we're doing another one on online payments with Rotessa and Stripe. So that allows you to make payments by credit card or pre-authorized debit. That's on the November 11th. And then we're doing a deep dive on amenity booking on November 25th. That is going to be going through some of the new features we've added this year to make amenity booking more user-friendly and also to help deal with some of the issues that have arisen due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And then last but not least, on December 9th, we're going to be doing a year-end review of what's been new at CCC this year and a little bit of a look forward to what's happening in 2021. So I've pasted the registration link for all of these into the chat. So you should see it in maybe orange at the bottom of your screen. So if you click on that link, you can learn more about each of those features. And if you're interested in the webinar, you can go to that link and sign up and register. Capacity is limited for those. So if you sign up, make sure you sign on early. And if not, you can always get a copy of the recording that we'll send out after the fact. So without further ado, we're going to get to today's agenda. So Greg is going to be walking you through a couple of things here. First, what is two-factor authentication and why it is important today, and how does it actually work? And then steps on how to enable that in Condo Control Central so that you can protect yourself and make sure that even if your email gets compromised, they're not going to get access to your CCC. And as I said, lots of time for questions throughout. So if you have any questions, put them into the Q&A box at the bottom, and we'll pause to go through them. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Greg, who's going to walk you through the rest of the webinar. Greg, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And hi, everybody. My name is Greg, as Brian mentioned. It's my pleasure being here. And today I'll walk you through what is two-factor authentication and how you can benefit from it. So the question is, what is two-factor authentication, which stands for, there's a short term for 2FA. So it is a security process which users provide authentication factors to verify themselves. So to put that in a simply context, it means that you're trying to convince a computer system or an online service that you are who you say you are, so that the system can determine that you can gain access to their data services once you have verified who you are. So the verification happens within the security code / token that the system will send it to the user to verify that they are the person that they say who they are, so that they can then access their account securely within the platform that they have a subscription. Some of this goes from banking industry, IT industries, your email, social media, and so on. So my next slide is what is two-factor authentication and why is this so important in today's access? So as everybody know, this year has been a very difficult year for everybody where COVID-19 has hit. So this has provided a lot of people to stay connected more than ever to their internet access and different tools, shopping, whether it's work related or whether it's shopping related, social media and whatnot. So it has been a lot of threats coming from malicious online sources. So it is very critical that you have a secure access control system in place so that you can prevent from your account being compromised. And in order for that account to be uncompromised, it's important that you set up two-factor authentications on those services that you use, whether it's through Condo Control Center or through any of the platforms that you currently have. So the two-factor authentication will pretty much prevent unknown users from access your account. And the only way to get to your account is within that secure code/token that those systems will be sending to either your mobile phone if you set up via mobile, or they can send it through a voice call through the phone number that you provided. So in the next few slides, I'll be showing you some of the phishing scam examples that we often have our clients impacted by it, or sometimes our own users from the system get all this emails from different companies stating that they're selling this, they're trying to get you to click here and so forth. So this is an example of one of our clients that their email were compromised, and this is what the email looks like from those users that have accessed their email content. So you look like a real email. It comes from the right recipient and so forth, and they have a little informations within the body of the email. And sometimes if you reply to this, what they usually do is, that reply will not really go to your email itself. You'll go to another email that those users have set up within those access. Another example that I have here, to the left, is again another client of ours that had their email being compromised. And on the right-hand side, this is a branded email account that we set up from one of our partner accounts, that they got this email that they're trying to pretend that they are from Microsoft, stating that their Microsoft account has been compromised. If you can look at the Microsoft account team highlighted on red on the far right, that email that supposedly from Microsoft, it has a lot of information that should not be there, and Microsoft will not really have their domain that extended like that. So it's very important that you understand who are the recipients that you're getting the message from, and what is the content of the message, so that you don't take any action to click on any links that you're not supposed to.
So Greg, if I can jump in for a second to just add a little bit more context here. We felt the need, we wanted to share this information with everybody because we're in a unique position that we interact with hundreds and hundreds of condos and property managers. So we see how often this happens. Whereas each of you, working, you may or may not know that other people who've been impacted by this. But basically what happens is when an attacker they're able to guess your password, or you've used the same password on multiple services and one of those services was compromised, they get into your account and then they download all of your contacts, and then they download your signature as well. So this email you're seeing on the left hand here, they've actually set up a similar email that's not exactly the same, but it looks similar enough, and the from address is the same and the signature is the same. So if somebody's not paying attention, they might think that it's the same person. And then they're going to use that account to email all of your contacts. And then if somebody engages, they're going to ask you to go buy some gift cards, send me, pictures of the gift cards, scratch off the security code, etc. Basically so that they can use those gift cards. And then you've lost the money that you would have spent on if you sent them gift cards. So that's, and as Greg said, it's really important, A, to not share passwords between accounts, but then B, to turn on two-factor authentication for anybody who really offers it. So, Facebook, Instagram, etc., all offer it. And so it's really, in addition to setting it up for your email, it'd be great to turn it on for all your other services as well. So we have 2 questions so far. So I'm just going to pause here and answer those questions. and then we'll keep going with the presentation. So first question, will this presentation be available to download? I'd like to present it to the rest of the board. Absolutely. So afterwards, we'll send out a link. We're going to have this published on YouTube, so the video will be available, and you can watch it, share it, whatever you'd like to do with it. The second question here from Ron, will I have to use two-factor authentication every time I open the CCC app? No. So we have the option to trust the device, and so then it'll only check two-factor every 30 days. So you don't have to be bothered every single time. So great questions. So Greg is going to keep going here, and we're going to talk through how two-factor authentication works in Condo Control Central.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So how does two-factor authentication work? So it's pretty it's a simple process. So the user is prompted to log into Condo Control Central, just like how you guys are currently logged in. And then this user you enter the email and password to access Condo Control Central, and then Condo Control Central server finds a match that recognizes the users, which is your your login and your password, and then CCC would then prompt the user to enter something only the user will know, such as the security token / the authentication code that we covered a few slides ago. And then after providing the above, then the user is authenticated and granted access to the system after those tokens / code has been entered to access their account. So the next few slides that I'm gonna show to you is gonna walk you through on how you can enable two-factor authentication within your Condo Control Central access. So the first step is you log into Condo Control Central by visiting condocontrolcentral.com/login, and then you enter your email address along with your password. Step number 2, once you log into Condo Control Central, on the left-hand side of the menu, you're gonna click My Account. After you click My Account, you'll be prompted to this number option of tabs, and you're gonna be clicking the two-factor authentication tab highlighted on your screen. Step number 4 is once you click the two-factor authentication tab, you're gonna click the Edit button. And once you click the Edit button, you'll be prompted to the screen, which is a two-factor authentication screen, where you can enter your primary phone number. So you can have a primary phone number and a secondary phone number to back that up, and you can choose the options to either get the authentication code via text, or you can use the voice option, which is pretty much giving you a call and give you the 6 digits to enter into the system. After you've done all that, and then you click Activate at the bottom of this screenshot, and then what's going to happen is you're going to log out of your account, and you're going to log back in to the account. And once you log in to the account, you're going to be prompted to the screen. So this is the two-step authentication screen, which the system tells you, a text message with the verification code has been sent to the phone number ending with 02, which is the cell phone that you provided on the third screen on the step. And then you're going to be entering that code on that blank box. So the question that we had earlier was about, will I be prompted every time to enter that code? So as Brian mentioned, you have an option to say this is a trusted devices. The trusted device is that you're telling that device that it's trusted, so that I don't have to keep entering the code every time I log in. We recommend to trust the device if that's your computer that you use on a daily basis. But if you manage multiple properties or you have different computers that you access it from, don't use that option so that you can get prompted every time you log in. But that will be up to you on how to do that. So those are the 6 steps on how to enable two-factor authentication, and that's pretty much the end of our two-factor authentication webinar today. So just to remind you guys again how to reach us. So our offices are open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then we have technical support or access-related issues where you can always contact us at contact@condocontrolcentral.com. You can also call us at 416-961-7884, option 2. And then there's the dedicated customer success manager team, which is combined with myself and my other 2 colleagues, Christine and Andrea. And then our email is customersuccess@condocontrolcentral.com, and then the same number to get in touch with us as well.
Great. So thank you, Greg. So we're basically going to, that's all of our content. So we're going to open up the floor for any questions that anyone wants to ask. You can right here. So another question here is CCC considering providing an iPad or tablet version of the app? That's a great question. So let me tell you what we are doing with our mobile app. We've just released I believe it was just at the end of last month, a fully rewritten version of the Android app, which is much improved and a whole lot easier to use. And so that was sort of phase one. The companion or the matching rewritten iOS app is expected within another week. So another week from now, you'll have a new iOS app. And then we don't have a concrete date yet, but we know that mobile and tablet is huge and hugely important to people. So we're going to keep working on that. But the first goal is for us to get the mobile apps to be fully at parity with desktop for residents. That's the goal number one. Once we've reached that, then we'll figure out how to prioritize what other changes we're going to make. Another question here. So the answer, whether we'd have to use two-factor authentication every time, indicated that after the first time would be prompted every 30 days. The presenter indicated via the slide it would never happen after the first time. Which is it? That's a great question. Sorry, we don't have our facts straight here. I will double check, and when we send out the slides and the recording, we'll include an answer to that question for you. Another question here: should the board suggest that resident users activate two-factor? That's a good question. It doesn't hurt. I think our focus is more that as property managers and board members and security, where you have access to lots of people's personal information, it's far more important that you activate this feature. Because if somebody gets into the system, they're going to have access to a lot of information. If somebody gets into a resident profile, it's not great, but it's really not as big of a deal. So you can certainly suggest it. It doesn't hurt. So Gary has a question. He says, you're reading more articles indicating you should avoid two-factor authentication using text messages. Your thoughts on that? That's an interesting point. I've not heard anything about that. Certainly something we can look into. From our perspective, we offer the text and the voice option. So if you prefer to use the voice, you can totally do that. So I'll make a note. We'll look into it. I want to understand a bit more why they're saying to avoid text messaging. So excellent questions. Anybody else have anything that you want to ask about today's topic or CCC in general? Anything at all? We'll just give it another minute here before we wrap up. Okay. Well, it looks like no more questions. So thank you all for taking the time to join us. Keep in mind, if you haven't registered for the virtual meeting topic, that's happening in 2 weeks. It's really popular. It's nearly filled up already. So take a look at registering for that if you haven't already. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.